of people voting in the Republican primary were
voting for Haley. Welcome back to XCOM 2 board and chosen. Modded core collection.
Would not be a dumb political move for Trump to make a call to Haley and try to settle things for the good of his campaign. I was going to one Trump money donor said, we don't have to do stuff like that. I get the gist of his point. We don't need any of that. People would see right through it. It's not worth it. What do you think? Well, that's easy for a donor to say, but at the end of the day, politics is a game of addition, not subtraction. And so if he can, it's never a good idea to be complacent. And
I think they're going to take on the boss.
Vote that is a potential vote. And the Republican Party has to be a party of the big tent, not of just the MAGA base, because
I want the sniper's gun, so I'm going after the sniper.
I know the name of the game now is turnout from your base, but I think that there are still some Haley voters who are making up their minds in swing states that would be useful to Donald Trump, and so he can stay core to his MAGA base, but still do some outreach like he did with Ron DeSantis recently. Dan, always good catching up with you. Thank you, Daniel Lippman, Political White House Washington reporter. Again, a lot of stuff that's out there right now that is coming together at the same time. But if you think any of this agitated the tension and the campus violence, all the rest is agitating investors, well, you wouldn't know it looking at what Wall Street just pulled off in this latest week.
There are many ways to do things. At Old Dominion Freight Line, we do them this way. This way has people who start early, people who care and inspire each other to do things the way they should be done. This way uses technology and goes the extra mile to deliver your promises on time, every time. This way is why we're the #1 national LTL carrier for quality. For us, this way is the right way, which is why it's the only way we go.
When I started MyPillow, it was just a problem-solution, one-product company. Well, since then, with the help of my dedicated employees, we now have hundreds of products, some you might not even know about. To get the word out, we're having a $25 extravaganza. True package, MyPillows, $25. MyPillows,
that was close by, too.
And for the first time ever, our 6-pack towel sets, you guessed it, just $25. Our brand new 4-pack dish towels, $25. And I've never done this before. Premium MyPillows with all the beads and patterns, any size, any cloth level, even king size for only $25. And there's so much more. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code for our $25 extravaganza. Order $75 and over, your entire order ships absolutely free.
My name is Dr. Zen. I'm a doctor of podiatric medicine. My name is Todd. I'm a paramedic firefighter. I've been on the job for 28 years. My name is Dr. Peter Mulder. I'm a chiropractor in New York, Long Island. I've been taking Balance of Nature for 23 years. I love Balance of Nature. It was definitely a product that I would recommend to other people, and I'll never stop taking it.
How many 7-year-old pictures,
As far as Balance of Nature goes, I'll keep taking the stuff until I'm almost 55 years old, and because I have so much vitality, I can really enjoy the great outdoors. Our bodies are kind of like machines. If you do not give the machine the proper nutrition, it's not going to work very well. Simple as that.
Start your journey with Balance of Nature supplements. Get 35% off your first order as a Cooker customer. Or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code Fox News.
Got it? Got a house? Well, a simple way to save money on garden.
Interesting.
This Sunday, the customized lawn care plan that's delivered straight to your door. Is that easy? At your grass is. Sunday offers everything to get grass that's good for bare feet and bare paws. No more guessing, just lawn care that's better for saving money and saving the planet. So ditch the old ways for Sunday Monday. Go to getsunday.com and use code Sunday50 for 50% off your first lawn class.
I think this is really showing that the U.S. capital markets are the envy of the world. We've proven that the U.S.
Oh, man.
economy is one of the most resilient, the economy that leads the way for the rest of the world. However, we still have to get to a landing. That's because of inflation, the fact that things do cost more money. And there is a general frustration in the market around inflation.
All right, the New York Stock Exchange Chairman with me on Business Network is, would you know, man, you should demand, obviously, the big board head, she was in some way, but she was trying to get across the point that markets are doing their own thing. They'll continue doing their own thing, but inflation is real. It could be a very viable variable here that changes a lot of things, but for now, stocks are going to
Chrysalids too.
Iceberg of Seaport Securities going back with us. Said she's essentially saying,
Shit.
there's no way that we can connect what's going on.
I'm gonna have to get rid of one of you.
Obviously, the Donald Trump court hearing.
Operative, you're it.
Step back and say, all right, we should see stocks.
I need.
They're not. They're doing what they should be doing. Explain.
Well, I mean, I think that's right, Neil. We've talked about this in the past. Climbing that proverbial wall of worry. You know, at the end of the day, Neil, it's going to be about corporate profits, and we're just now exiting the corporate profits from the first quarter of 2024, and on balance, they've been pretty good, maybe 9 or 10% better than the estimates. April was a problematical month. The first quarter was very good. So, you know, all in, you know, if in fact it's corporate profits, which it really is at the end of the day, that's what's driving stock prices. That's why we've had these reasonably robust markets now. The rising tide's not floating all ships, and we've seen some shifts in terms of sectors, but on balance, market breadth has been spreading out. It's been good. We've seen some groups of stocks doing much better than the traditional tech stocks, which basically drove the trade for so many months.
Ted, you know, Donald Trump says that a lot of this owes to him.
And health throughout everybody here.
The industrials saying it's 8 straight advance, or having the best week we've seen this year. It says it's in anticipation of him coming back to the White House. He said that he does, and the markets are going to crash. What do you mean?
You know that. I mean, he can say whatever he likes, and it is an election year, and you know, on the trading floor, when we have a good day, depending on who is running for office and who the favorite would be, you know, they'd say the market says Trump, the market says Biden, whatever it happens to be, you know, you got to pick your favorites. But in an election year, generally speaking, markets do tend to do a little better. The incumbent tends to throw a lot of candy at the economy, which certainly reflects in the stock market. And the challenger, of course, is not going to agree with anything that the incumbents are doing, and they're going to say that they have the ingredients, you know, for at least in terms
Start
of
down the freezer.
better stock market. So the market is.
What you're saying, I just want to cut to the chase. You're saying that this market rally, whatever you want to call it, owes nothing to Donald Trump. By extension, it owes nothing to Joe Biden.
Well, I think all we can say is that it's election year, and that's usually good for the markets because those in power basically are going to throw as much candy as they can at the economy, including the Fed. We don't know if Reserve. Well, yeah, the Federal Reserve. We don't know if it's political. It's not supposed to be. But there's this whole issue of is the Fed going to lower rates? And now they're talking maybe they'll lower it twice. But miraculously, those rate cuts, if they come, could easily come around the time of the election.
And what impact would it have? Let's say we get a rate cut before the election. Stocks have had a good run this year. I don't know where we'll be at that point. What do you think the
I think
incoming
rate cuts clearly are priced into the market. I can't imagine that the markets will react dramatically positive for an extended period of time if, in fact, the Fed cuts once or twice. You know, the risk is, Neil, that we live in this world of, it's like a perverse kind of scenario. People are sort of rooting for bad news to encourage the Fed to lower rates. I'm not sure we should be rooting for a weak economy. I think we should all be rooting for a strong economy. But you know, and so therefore, any negative economic news tends to reinforce the scenario that the Fed might cut rates. But the fact is, the U.S. economy is doing quite well. You know, is the Fed political? Is the Fed going to help the current administration? Your guess is as good as mine. It's not supposed to be political, but reality might be a lot different than what we perceive it to be.
Well, you managed to tick off both Trump and Biden supporters, and those who support the Fed. So I think that's a hat trick. But Ted, Always good to see you. Be well. He is an iconic figure that really press you on a lot of market developments. I was like checking in with him to get a very political view of the world. In the meantime, we want to bring you back to Wildwood, New Jersey. We told you about President Biden now on the West Coast. He's raising money. This is Wildwood, New Jersey. Now, Donald Trump is in view there for what, I think another 5 hours at minimum. And the crowd's already there. Security is already in place. A lot of you have been bemoaning my love of Wildwood and the fact that they have among the world's best sausage and pepper grinders. Many of you would say, Neil, that's not a good idea. Some of you actually care for Rhino and say that it would be a better idea if I set out salad stations there. There are no salad stations in Wildwood. Just wanted you to know. And I've heard from my heart surgeon, some years back, I had a triple bypass. He made me right. A lot of people are angry that he did. I don't want to quote him. I want to respect his privacy. He reminded me I can't have the grinder. But I guess his message was don't overdo it. He's watching.
This looks like an actual farm.
Look at you on that.
When other vacation rentals aren't what they're cracked up to be. Try one where you know what you'll get.
When everything hurts, you need relief that's deeper than ice. Tidal, the cryotherapy spray that goes beyond cooling to take control of the pain. Now, the best-selling pain relief spray has gotten even better with an easy press activator to get the perfect coverage and dose with no rubber feet.
It smells really good. It relieves the pain quickly so I can continue doing what I love.
It's compact, it travels easy, and take it everywhere.
Get the all-new cryotherapy spray and the full line of Tidal products online or at your favorite retailer.
I'm Bobby Brown, and I started Joe's Road because I wasn't done. Joe's Road is a modern approach to my beauty philosophy. Clean, good-for-you products that are versatile and easy to use. Learn more at jonesroad.com.
Life insurance is extremely important to put off another day. That's why Select Quote makes getting coverage you need easy. Now get up to a $2 million policy with no medical exam and same-day coverage.
Visit SelectQuote.com now. Cancel culture. Being canceled. According to media and corporations, could a shift finally be occurring? Ari Fletcher and Bluetang into the science tonight on One Nation.
People say analog X is the perfect band. Italian status.
I want us to integrate into society as soon as possible. But not life is in your hands. I saved you from years in prison. I know exactly what you're talking about. You're just making dreams for memories. These aren't dreams.
Oh, hey. Moving far. Hey, what was the question?
Let me guess. What's rubbing my clock?
Moving out. Can I get on river with the side of it? I'm going.
What? Think you're a better driver when you're high? Yeah. Smoking cool concentration. A message from action.
These days, at the local Legion, we're marching to the beat of a different drum. On a mission to support veterans, to have fun, and to welcome everyone to our ranks. You don't need to be a veteran to join the Legion. And as a member, you'll join thousands of others serving our veterans, our communities, and our country. Oh yeah, and our member programs. Shop, donate products and services across the country. Join us at legion.ca.
In northern locale to see the world around and northern lights as they're going, but because of these massive solar storms going on, in fact, some of them with flares that are 8 times the diameter of the Earth itself, it takes a while to reach here, but when they do, they cause this. They show this. So it's causing disruptions to our satellites and our GPS systems here, cell phones, power grid. But the flip side is they're beautiful to watch and the fallout for so many parts of the world, like Tennessee and London, many European spots, Latin America, points south of the United States, that never get to see something like this, that are. So it's sort of a retreat from our day-to-day concerns, as long as it's the good stuff that remains. That is not some of the issues we're following on the political front here. I do want to go to Rebecca Rose Woodland again at what's at stake for Donald Trump's hush money trial. The prosecution says could wrap up, at least for its part, this week when Michael Cohen comes to testify. By the way, speaking of the former president, on his Truth Social site, he said that Nikki Haley is not under consideration for VP, but I wish her well. You might recall we were talking about a number of folks, the story that's out there, I believe on Axios, that they're talking of rapprochement between Nikki Haley and Donald Trump. Part of that was a discussion she might be a potential running mate. Donald Trump making it clear right now on his Truth Social site that is not under consideration. Rebecca, a lot going on there, a lot to unpack there. But I do want to get your thoughts on the real expertise for this Michael Cohen testimony this week. What do you say?
Well, we're expected to see Michael Cohen as early as Monday morning. And what we have to think about is, who is this man? Is he a credible witness for the prosecution? He's a convicted felon. He has a tremendous axe to grind with Donald Trump. He is not going to be credible. Will he say things that are exaggerations? Will he say things to put the prosecution in the best light that may not be the full story? And I'm going to say here, the judge on Friday did not put a gag order on Michael Cohen, but yet a gag order remains on President Trump. President Trump's legal team asked that the gag order be lifted because Michael Cohen is posting terrible, aggressive commentary that is incredibly hateful towards former President Trump. So President Trump says, why can I not respond? Why can I not exercise my First Amendment constitutional right? And if I can't, well, neither can he. But as we saw before, this judge is not apt to create a legal field, an even legal playing field. He's not doing it. He did not put a gag order on Michael Cohen.
He did, I think you're talking about Justice Brown, he did urge the prosecutor to stop needling Donald Trump, to try to pass along the kind of stop needling Trump. But you're right, he didn't put out any order, and he urged prosecutors to keep Cohen on a tighter leash. So he has a double standard here. I'm wondering, I don't know how this trial works out. I don't know the wisdom of Stormy Daniels' testimony. I do know that Americans think it's sort of like loaded for maybe nothing. But having said that, regardless of how this case works out, and if it doesn't go to the former president's advantage, or is convicted in one or two areas of the 30-some-odd charges against him, there are ample grounds for appeal, are there not? Including on the gag order issue, including how the judge just let the prosecution roll with the Fannie Daniels stuff. This whole story is out of it. So they could have ample grounds to see this appeal. What do you think?
Absolutely, Neil. I totally agree with you. I think if we find a guilty verdict, and I'm hoping we don't, I'm hoping we have one holdout who sees the light here and sees that this is a circus and a kangaroo court. If we don't, if we have a guilty verdict, we go to the appellate division on the Court of Appeals in New York. If they uphold the verdict, the Supreme Court can take this case on constitutional grounds, and I believe the former president's constitutional rights have been violated in the areas you say. In the areas of the gag order, where he is not being allowed to exercise his First Amendment right to free speech, and in the area of a fair trial, a constitutional right to a fair trial. But in this trial court, we're seeing an uneven playing ground. We are seeing Stormy Daniels testify way beyond the scope of what was necessary for her testimony to prove the points the prosecution was trying to make. We didn't need any details, any salacious details, but they were made, and the judge allowed them.
I was mixing names from the trial. Bonnie Willis, of course, is the prosecutor who they want to get off the case, from the Atlanta where it's going on. It looks like they might get their way. It's still too early to tell. At the very least, it could be delayed. The government documents, one is postponed indefinitely. So you could argue that, Donald Trump has that going for him. This might be the only case adjudicated before the election. How do you see it?
It may be, it's looking that way, but this case is taking away his time from his right to campaign. He is the forerunner for the Republican Party. He has a right to campaign. And we're not seeing that because the judge is requiring him to be in court every day.
Real quick, I want to get your thoughts on when he comes out before and after government hearing or the trial. He has a lot to say. Now, I know that the jurors are not sequestered and the word goes out, don't watch news, don't follow all this stuff in papers, etc. But they can't help but not. And I'm wondering, a lot of people criticize him for doing this, but there might be a clever strategy to it, because a juror or two or three, all you need is one, might hear it out, because he's not testifying in that room, and he might not. And this is getting through that. What do you think of it?
Well, look, usually jurors listen to a judge and listen to the admonition to please not look at any social media, look at any news reports. The reality is, I think what the former president is doing is trying to get his message out to the entire country, a message in response to when he cannot properly respond on social media.
We'll see if it's very similar there. He's holding up there on the calls. Maybe a juror or two would get back to Rebecca, thank you for that. In the meantime, the tension right now between the President of the United States and Israel's Benjamin Netanyahu, are they way past the point of approaching?
I spend a lot of time thinking about dirt at 3 in the morning. Any time of day. What people don't know is that not all dirt is the same. You need dirt with the right kind of nutrients. Look at this new organic soil from Miracle Grow. Everybody should have it. It worked great for us. This is as good as gold in any garden. If people only knew that it really is about the dirt.
You're a dirt nerd.
Huge dirt nerd. I'm proud of it.
What if you could whiten your teeth by simply brushing your teeth? Now you can. With Smile Actives, the teeth whitening breakthrough that safely gets your teeth white and keeps them white every day, just by brushing your teeth. I never thought that whitening my teeth was so easy. Throw on the brush, toothpaste on it, brush, and I can see my white teeth. Simply add Smile Actives to any toothpaste, and our patented polyclean technology activates into a powerful microphone that integrates into the enamel surface to safely lift and remove stains.
You need a simple way to whiten your teeth, without scripts, without trays, without going to the dentist. And it was about time that a product was developed that you would be able to do that with just brushing.
And now Smile Actives is even better. With new Pro Whitening Gel with 33% greater whitening power, clinically shown to whiten teeth faster, up to 8 shades. 100% of users saw whiter teeth on food stains, coffee and wine stains, even on veneers, crowns, and dentures.
I eat the blueberries, I drink the coffee, and I know that Smile Actives will keep my teeth white every day.
If you could do something so easy like Smile Actives to take yellow teeth to white teeth, why wouldn't you?
Why spend hundreds of dollars for whitening treatments at the dentist when now you can whiten your teeth with new Smile Actives Pro Whitening Gel every time you brush your teeth? Call or go to smileactives.com and for a limited time get new Pro Whitening Gel for just $24.95. Order in the next 5 minutes and buy one get one absolutely free for just $24.95. That's 2 for 1 and save 58%. We'll even include free shipping. Get your teeth whiter guaranteed or return it within 60 days for your money back.
I smile every day.
The difference is literally night and day.
So now I'm always smiling. Oh, this you think that now teeth are much whiter.
This offer is not available in stores, so call or click now before the special buy one get one free offer goes away.
This is a keepsake frame. This is actually a photo from my wedding. I'm Adam Weiss, founder and CEO of Keepsake, a mobile app that makes it easy to have your photos printed, framed, and shipped to your doorstep. Just choose a photo that you love. You can preview it in over 100 frames, and in a couple of days, you're going to receive your photo in a beautiful handmade frame. So if you've got a special photo on your phone, install the free Keepsake app. We would love a chance to frame it.
Homeowners, clear water or sewer line breaks, it's expensive and often not covered by basic homeowners insurance. You could pay thousands. Finding a good contractor can be tough. What, this guy doing the job? With a plan from HomeServe, call us. We'll send a contractor and there's no big bill. Easy. But don't wait. Get a plan from HomeServe before a line breaks. Go online now. Plans from HomeServe start at just $7.99 a month. Call 1-800-324-6904 or visit homeserve.com.
All right, here's how bad it's getting in Israel right now, particularly with Netanyahu when it comes to this alienation over weapon systems and how much President Biden will provide. He's gone so far as to tell the Israeli people we'll stand alone in this work we have to. Lucas Thomas at the White House on that.
And Neil, in the last hour, you had a guest who was critical of President Biden, the top Democrat on the House Armed Services Committee, Adam Smith.
I have spoken with a number of different officials at the White House, and their claim is that they are only slowing down the delivery of 2,000-pound dump bombs. All right? Why isn't that message clear? I don't think the president made it clear during his interview on CNN.
Other Democrats say it doesn't matter what type of weapons are being brought, it's the principle.
I'm not as focused on the particular weapon as I am the message, right? Again, because the objective here is to try to get the hostages out in exchange for a ceasefire. And so if you're providing daylight, whether it's this missile or that missile, it's not the particular missile, it's the overall message that Hamas is receiving. Where's the pressure on them?
Many Republicans say by withholding these weapons, the White House is attempting to placate voters on the far left at the expense of a close ally after 1,200 Israelis were slaughtered on October 7th. 133 remain in captivity in Gaza right now, including some Americans. Here's House Speaker Mike Johnson.
He's defying the will of Congress, and he's defying what his own top officials in the White House assured me in writing and verbally before that supplemental was passed, and even in the days since. This idea of withholding weapons to Israel as a condition of somehow, Joe Biden wanted to micromanage their war effort is catastrophic policy.
Experts say the 1-to-1 Hamas to civilian kill ratio is one of the lowest in the history of warfare.
Lucas, thank you for all of that. Lucas at the White House. Obviously, General Jack Keane back with us. General, always good to see you. The Benjamin Netanyahu comments that Israel will stand alone in this war if we have to. What did you make of that?
Well, certainly, he's very frustrated. They're actually infuriated, my sources are telling me, by Biden's decision, and that's just a little pushback, certainly, to the administration. They know full well the United States is going to continue to support them. But this decision, it shocked me, even though there were hints at it. And the reason is, both houses of Congress reflected the will of the American people, which is overwhelmingly support Israel and provide the means for them to succeed, weapons and ammunition. And both houses supported that. And with no restrictions, there was plenty of opportunity for amendments to be registered and for them to impose restrictions, but no restrictions. And here comes the White House on the heels of that congressional decision to impose these restrictions. And when you look at the 2,000-pound bomb under a microscope, I think there's a bit of pettiness involved in this. They were trying to get Israel to change their tactics in the Rafah operation. They don't want them to conduct a clearing operation similar to what they did in Gaza City and Han Yunis. They wanted them to focus just targeted attacks, quote unquote, just focus on the leaders. But anybody that understands the tactical situation in Israel understood that they will not succeed. And I would suggest we were doing that for 3 years in Iraq, 2003 to 2006, and we were losing the war while we were succeeding at killing leaders by our special operation forces. But because we were not destroying the entire infrastructure, we were losing the war. Israel knows that. They have got to take Hamas's infrastructure down. And the 2,000-pound bombs, well, certainly we should not be using that around civilians, and that's the concern of the administration. There's plenty of opportunity to use them. Still, look at what's happening here. The Hamas in northern Gaza, Israel is conducting its third clearing operation in an attempt to defeat Hamas in northern Gaza. 17 attacks against Israel in the last week. There's no people there. There's plenty of opportunity to use those 2,000-pound bombs to destroy the tunnels. We are going to have the same situation in Rafah. It's going to be a huge struggle to defeat Hamas inside of Rafah after they clear the people out. By the way, Neil, so our audience understand, as we speak right now, Israel is sending messages to the population in central Rafah to evacuate to the 2 designated zones that they have set aside. So there's no doubt that this operation is going to proceed. And the Biden administration knew that, but I think they just wanted to punish them to kind of get their attention. And it seemed petty to me, because I agree with the congressman that you had on here. Whose hand is this strengthening? It's certainly not helping Israel. It's strengthening Sinwar's hand, Hamas's leader. He's going to be even tougher in these negotiations and steadfast as he has been since November of last year.
He's already indicated that, to your point, as well, and on this point about Rafah, now we have 150,000 who are fleeing this area, indicating that an outright and all expansive attack is on, regardless of what the president's done in this country. I did want to follow up on that decision from the Biden folks to do something like this. I know they say it's not unprecedented. General Eisenhower did that, Barack Obama did that. A couple of presidents in between have done that. But to my memory, General, what stood out to your bigger point about the perceived pettiness of this, it was just done in real time. We found out in those other instances way after the fact. This we almost seem to brag about. And I don't know if that is a good message to send.
No, I totally agree with you, Neil. I mean, you're right on target here. And look, at what makes this so different in stark contrast to those other decisions. Since 1948, we have never had this existential challenge to Israel's very existence by Hamas. And Iran has operationalized all of the proxies in a ring of fire around Israel. They are determined to drive the Israelis out of Israel because it's not a secure and safe place to live anymore. That is the objective here. And Eisenhower and Reagan were not dealing with this existential threat. That makes all the difference in the world. And that's why it's so petty and I think shocking that the administration would hold back on munitions that Israel uses for their own purposes here.
General, very good catching up with you. Thank you for that. Thank you for your service to this country. Thank you for being a Hamas contributor. We get a lot out of the relationship. General Jackie, on that. In the meantime, we're keeping up with TikTok. I don't know if you heard, they're suing us on the grounds that if we try to kick them out of this country, we're violating free speech. Again, this is a Chinese company talking about violating free speech. That would be akin to me telling you to eat salad.
Mom jeans. She passed them down to you. But who passed them to her? Those mom genes helped make her who she is. Show her with Ancestry DNA. This Mother's Day, she can see the traits she inherited, the places where they started, and the people she shares them with. Best of all, it's on sale for Mother's Day. Get it now, before she has to remind you.
Experience the rich maritime heritage and culture of the Maine Coast and New England Islands with American Cruise Lines, the leader in U.S. small ship cruising. Aboard our modern fleet, explore scenic New England landscapes, seaside villages, and historic harbors where you can experience the fullest target of the sea. Visit AmericanCruiseLines.com or call for a free cruise guide.
Well, mental health is better than controlling the responsibility. Trying to disguise is disruptive.
Dating felt embarrassing. I felt like disconnected. I asked my doctor about treating my TB, learned about Ingrezza.
Ingrezza is clinically proven for reducing TB. Most people saw results in just 2 weeks. People taking Ingrezza can stay on most mental health meds. The number one prescribed Ingrezza has simple dosing. Always one pill, once daily. Ingrezza can cause depression, suicidal thoughts, or actions in patients with Huntington's disease. Pay close attention to and call your doctor immediately. have sudden changes in mood, behaviors, feelings, or have thoughts of suicide. Don't take Ingrezza if you're allergic to its ingredients. Ingrezza may cause serious side effects, including angioedema, potential heart rhythm problems, and abnormal movements. Report fevers, stiff muscles, or problems thinking, as these may be life-threatening. Sleepiness is the most common side effect.
Take control by asking your doctor about Ingrezza.
Water, bro. Replacing things costs down. Not covered by homeowner insurance.
Okay, wake up. Here's Tom Wilson, CEO of HomeServe.
A plan from HomeServe pays for the covered repair cost for water lines, and we send a qualified contractor. The American dream of owning a home doesn't need to be a nightmare. Sleep well with HomeServe.
Plans from HomeServe start at just $7.99 a month. Call 1-866-513-7337 or visit homeserve.com.
I am Tony Hawk, and like many of you, I take a statin to reduce cholesterol. But statins can also deplete CoQ10 levels. So my doctor recommended Qunol CoQ10. Qunol has the #1 cardiologist recommended form of CoQ10. Qunol, the brand I trust.
Life insurance is too important to put off another day. That's why Select Quote makes getting coverage you need easy. Now get up to a $2 million policy with no medical exam and same-day coverage.
Visit SelectQuote.com now. I'm trying to reframe this case as one about content of the speech on the platform as opposed to the reality, which is this is about TikTok's conduct. It's about misrepresenting the data they're obtaining and providing access to that data back to the CCP. They finally came out and said the reason why they don't think they can divest is that the CCP won't let them.
All right, an FCC commissioner that agrees with the move afoot in the United States right now to ban TikTok on most devices, no matter who owns those devices. Now, TikTok, as you know, is suing the U.S. government over this, saying that it violates free speech principles. Now, never mind the fact that it's a Chinese concern saying that, where free speech is not exactly, well, warmly embraced. Let's get the latest on all of this from Lisa Garber, the cybersecurity attorney. Lisa, where do you think this is going?
It seems like such a bizarre scenario, but it's been building for quite some time, and it's a perfect storm right now. We have the First Amendment versus national security in an election year, and if we look at the context, this divest or ban law was passed with support, bipartisan support, both sides of the aisle. And we have polls that have suggested over and over again that most Americans are concerned about the data privacy and the national security issues in using TikTok, despite the fact that it was the most downloaded social media app last year.
Yeah, and disproportionately popular with young people, at least, and a lot of young people, including my sons, have this nasty habit of saying, maybe they're cynical, they get that from their mother. But they figure, well, if it isn't a Chinese company spying on us, it'll be an American company spying on us, leave us alone. So what do you say to them? That it's a slippery slope here, and that, you know, what you do and to protect people's privacy, you should be consistent.
I appreciate that argument, and deep down I am a privacy lover, and I have been a privacy lawyer and cybersecurity lawyer for a long, long time. My university students have argued with
Excellent.
as well. And yes, the United States does
Sniper man, that's the way to go.
Reliable information laws that protect retail, protect consumers in the internet environment. But right now, we're looking at a national security concern. And as we see this come into the courts, we have to understand that this app, in its entirety, the parent company is owned by China, right? We have the Communist Chinese Party that is operating here. And they are saying, even if this app does sell, if they divest, we will not allow them to grant the opportunity to sell the algorithm anyway, which really puts into perspective the issues with all of these national security arguments anyway. So the United States right now, the DOJ has to show there are serious and specific national security concerns, which they've already shown through the past few years. The First Amendment concern isn't really there right now because it's not necessarily a ban, right? It's divest or ban. So really the question is there a First Amendment concern with the parent, with selling to a different parent company? No.
Very good. I understood that because I appreciate that. Because we were following all these good old cybersecurity attorney. She's still in that legal storm coming, and very real aftermath from lots of storms in this country, particularly all these tornadoes down south. We've got an update for you after this.
Some people just know that the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate. Because you know the right way to save the drive-bys and get a rate based on you. You're in good hands with Allstate.
It's Kubota Orange Days. Shop the year's biggest selection of Kubota equipment and get 0% APR for 84 months or up to $3,300 off select compact tractors. Find your nearest dealer at KubotaOrangeDays.com.
When I started MyPillow, it was just a problem-solution one-product company. Well, since then, with the help of my dedicated employees, we now have hundreds of products, some you might not even know about. To get the word out, we're having a $25 extravaganza. 2-pack multi-use MyPillows, $25. MyPillow sandals, $25. And for the first time ever, our 6-pack towel sets, you guessed it, just $25. Our brand new 4-pack dish towels, $25. And I've never done this before. Premium MyPillows with all new Giza fabric, any size, any cloth level, even king size for only $25. And there's so much more. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code for our $25 extravaganza. Order $75 and over, your entire order ships absolutely free.
Withholding weapons from Israel likely sounds off on Biden's threat. Plus, Kevin McCarthy on the state of the presidential race, live on Sunday Morning Futures with Maria Bartiromo.
Do you have a life insurance policy you no longer need? Now you can sell your policy.
Setting course for Mexico.
Clubs, leagues, and courts in every province and territory across Canada. Squash is key sport for wall-to-wall fun, fitness, and friendship. From coast to coast to coast. Learn to play, and you'll want to do it every day. Squash. Play inside the box.
This is your mom and dad. Your dad first, well, not trying to worry about that. How's it going? Strangely. Hi.
Hi.
How was it? This is weird. Doesn't take much to make you feel like you're back there again. All the strangers.
A week of tornadoes that have ripped through the South and the Midwest and leaving a devastating path of destruction. Brandy Campbell, I apologize, Brandy, in Tallahassee, Florida, with the latest stop. Brandy.
Hey, Neil. Well, there has been at least 109 confirmed tornadoes across the U.S. this week alone. And now Florida reeling with damage after 4 potential tornadoes and, of course, wind damage. We're seeing a lot of that behind us in one of the residential areas. This is actually Myers Park in Tallahassee. Again, those 4 radar-confirmed tornadoes that happened on Friday morning. 55% tree coverage is what this city boasts. The tree canopy, they're very proud of it. Well, it took a real beating. One woman was actually killed in her home after a tree fell on top of it. It's the only confirmed death as a result of these storms so far. Take a look at this video. We're also seeing as an impact to power lines across this town. It's on fire. You can see the line on the street. Nearly 90,000 residents currently without power across the Florida Panhandle, with majority of those outages here in Leon County. The city of Tallahassee said there was severe damage to their electric grid. Linemen from 20 mutual aid counties traveled in from surrounding states and are now working to help restore power. Now, I did speak to a resident here. He said he was thankful to have a built-in generator just for moments like this. But just looking at this damage, he talked about how extensive the tree damage is. Take a listen. Okay. All All right, guys, so we don't have that soundbite, but basically he was comparing this to Hurricane Andrew. He's actually from the Miami area, and he was saying this took down such a large amount of trees, and this is in a historic area, and so he's surprised to see that. But thankfully, what we're not seeing are homes that are leveled or majorly destroyed, but we are just seeing the tree canopy really just collapsing in so many of these residential areas. Neil?
Brandy, thank you for all that. Brandy Campbell, Fox Weather, Tallahassee, Florida. Again, this is in about a dozen states over the period of the last week. A lot of people tell me that is not unusual. It's just the frequency of them and the power of some of these. That is, that they expected many more casualties than the horror we've already seen. So they argue that there's more of this to come. They're just waiting, wondering, and fearing. In the meantime, we've got Greg Jenkins coming up, Jackie Hine. We're going to take you through the next 2 hours. A lot of big events coming up, including later on, Donald Trump in New Jersey.
We're talking about practicing good financial strategy. About cash back. What you think I was talking about? Not a game. Not a game. I'm talking about cash back. Cash back. Cash back like a pro. But Chase Freedom Unlimited. How do you cash back? I thought water would help with these dry spots. That's long disease. Scott's Healthy Plus with curings.
Long disease?
Going around.
So, like, other people have it and it's not.
Pick up a bag of the new Scott's Turf Builder Healthy Plus lawn food today.
Feed it all. Feed it.
I've been cooking most of my life after seeing my parents cook, so I stuck with some of the Spanish traditions, some of the Cuban dishes, and I like to cook my own food because I want to know what's in my food. Balance of nature, it's already incorporated into my diet. I've looked at other supplements out there, and they don't have what Balance of Nature has. So I am taking the initiative to stay on Balance of Nature forever.
Get 35% off your first order as a preferred customer. Call or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code FOXNEWS. What if you could whiten your teeth by simply brushing your teeth? Now you can with Smile Actives, the teeth whitening breakthrough that safely gets your teeth white and keeps them white every day, just by brushing your teeth. I never thought that whitening my teeth could be so easy. I just put the gel on the brush, the toothpaste on it, brush, and I can see my white teeth. Simply add Smile Actives to any toothpaste, and our patented polyclean technology activates into a powerful microfoam that penetrates into the enamel surface to safely lift and remove stains.
You need a simple way to whiten your teeth. Without strips, without trays, without going to the dentist. And it was about time that a product was developed and you would be able to do that with just brushing.
And now Smile Actives is even better with new Pro Whitening Gel with 33% greater whitening power, clinically shown to whiten teeth faster, up to 8 shades. 100% of users saw whiter teeth on food stains, coffee and wine stains, even on veneers, crowns, and dentures.
I eat the blueberries, I drink the coffee, and I know that Smile Actives will keep my teeth white every day.
If you could use something so easy like Smile Actives to take yellow teeth to white teeth, why wouldn't you?
Why spend hundreds of dollars for whitening treatments at the dentist when now you can whiten your teeth with new Smile Actives Pro Whitening Gel every time you brush your teeth? Call or go to smileactives.com and get Pro Whitening Gel for just $24.95. Order the next product and buy one get one absolutely free for just $24.95. That's true. And safe. We'll even include free shipping. It's like the American. Anti-Israel protests continue to cause anti-Semitic countries to be acted as Sacramento State is campaigning to protest its demands and revise its investment policy. University President Luke Wood is now explaining his position on CBS and how possibly presence on these campus.
How I feel that as a person, as an individual, and really as a black man, I get a heightened level of anxiety. When people are in fear, they respond in a protective mechanism, which doesn't always lead to the best outcome.
The campaign on Sacramento State's campus is taking down a legislative policy announcement from the Black Well, Stevie Johnson is going to actually take it over for us. She is live on one of these campus
or near one of these protests, rather, for the latest developments. CB, what do you have going on today in Brooklyn?
Hi, Jackie. Well, we're actually here at the Barclays Center, home to the NBA's Brooklyn Nets and the WNBA's New York Liberty. But today, a pro-Palestinian group is calling on supporters to come here and protest the ongoing conflict in the Middle East. Moments ago, we watched officers put these barricades up here and across the street. And certainly, we're expecting the law enforcement presence to increase as the day goes on. Now, we have seen protests here at the arena since the start of the Israel-Hamas war. But Jackie, as you were discussing, college campuses and universities have been the focal point of these pro-Palestinian demonstrations really within the last month. And now academic leaders are trying to hold commencements with divided campuses rather. But soon those college kids will be heading home for the summer. So we may start to see a shift with protest organizers holding more rallies at places like the arena, amphitheaters, public parks, things like that. Today's protest can truly mark the beginning of similar ones to come. Now, organizers of today's event said on social media that they're demanding a quote, end to the occupation, full liberation, and the right of return for all Palestinians in Gaza, the West Bank, and around the world to their original lands and homes, end quote. Now, these organizers always use social media to spread the word, and if this event today is like anything we've seen in the past, we're expecting hundreds of people to be here by the end of the afternoon, Jackie. We're going to be monitoring for any clashes, any marches throughout the city streets, and of course, we're going to bring it to you later here on Fox News Live. Back to you.
All right, CB Cotton for us live in Brooklyn. Thanks, CB.
Well, former President Trump hopes to build momentum in New Jersey by holding a rally today that is expected to draw about 40,000 people. Brian Innes is live in Whitewood, New Jersey, with what we can expect this afternoon. Hey, Brian.
Hey, Chris, that's right. There are thousands of people expected here today. Take a look. Actually, some people have been out here, they tell us, since Wednesday and even Thursday to try to secure a spot for tonight's rally that starts at 5 o'clock. We are in Wildwood, New Jersey. This is close to actually a battleground state, Pennsylvania, and it is in deep blue, New Jersey, although this is a Republican stronghold down here on Cape May on the Jersey Shore. This is Trump's third major campaign rally since he's been preoccupied with the hush money trial in New York City. There will be a lot of attention tonight as to whether or not the former president will potentially get close to or even violate that gag order by choosing to attack Michael Cohen, his former personal attorney who is set to testify on Monday as the prosecution's star witness. Yesterday, Judge Juan Merchan told prosecutors to directly warn Cohen to stop commenting on the case and Trump. Cohen, over the course of this trial, has been almost baiting Trump, posting hours of live stream videos on TikTok commenting on the case and attacking the former president. He wore a t-shirt on Wednesday on a video. Prosecutors said he repeatedly asked Cohen to stop. Just as Merchan said, he is subject to witnesses like Cohen to attack Trump, fined $10,000 for violating the gag order.
Was amazing. Was amazing. Everybody can say whatever they want. They can say whatever they want. I'm not allowed to say anything about anybody. It's a disgrace.
Now, Trump's attorneys told the jury in this case during opening statements not to trust the testimony of Michael Cohen, particularly because he's based his, quote, entire financial livelihood on Trump's destruction. Prosecutors claim Trump falsified those business records in order to hide the $130,000 hush money payment. Those reimbursements that were made to Cohen who ended up making that payment allegedly to the porn star Stormy Daniels. Now, ultimately, here, it is important to note that Cohen pled guilty to federal charges for that hush money payment in 2018, but he also pled guilty for lying to Congress, lying to banks, and even this past week, a federal judge said that he potentially perjured himself when he testified in Trump's civil case in the fall. So we'll see at 5 p.m. today what Trump has to say in beautiful Wildwood, New Jersey, guys.
It will be interesting. We'll be following it. And Ryan, I know my friend
Cavuto was talking about he has a health restriction to those Italian grinders. I have no known health restrictions prohibiting those Italian grinders. So send them down here to Jackie in D.C. Right in a slide force from my way. Thank you very much. Jackie?
Meanwhile, Maryland Senate primaries heating up as Democrat Angela also Brooks closes the gap on David Trump, locking them in a dead heat, while former Governor Larry Hogan is the GOP frontrunner. Mark Meredith is live from Annapolis, Maryland, with the latest on this race for us. Hey, Mark.
Jackie, good afternoon to you. Former Governor Larry Hogan appears so confident in his chances in Tuesday's primary, he's not even campaigning this weekend. But after Tuesday's primary, after he likely becomes the Republican nominee, Republicans here in Maryland tell us that they are going to have to do all they can, work very hard to try to flip a traditionally blue Senate seat red.
We need to treat this that we're down 5 points, even though we know we can win and make the difference. But we're going to need a lot of resources, a lot of grassroots activism, and really just outreach on these common sense principles, which are not really partisan issues.
Hogan is an outspoken critic of former President Trump, and Hogan says he's not even going to vote for Trump this fall. Although we would normally see kind of the back and forth between the former president and somebody like Hogan, as of right now, Trump is keeping quiet. Indication they realize that if Hogan were to win this seat, it could certainly determine the balance of power in the Senate. And while there are also 10 Democrats running to replace the senator who's retiring, Ben Cardin, the race appears in the Democratic primary to center on two candidates. There'd be County Executive Angela Brooks, as well as the Democratic Congressman David Strome. Brooks had a campaign event this morning in the Washington, D.C. area. She's been trying to get out the vote all day today, holding multiple events in the Baltimore area as well. An indication she says that she knows she's going to have to overcome the financial advantage that Congressman Strome has right now.
We still believe that in this country, if you put in the work, you care about people, you deliver results, and no matter what, even allowing $62 million, you can't.
As you heard the county executive saying, her opponent is already receiving $60 million of his own money in this primary. A huge sum of money. A huge turnout, Jackie. That primary is set to get underway on Tuesday.
This comes down to turnout. All right, Mark Meredith for us. Thanks, Mark.
Now to our southern border, where officials are concerned the cartels are getting more brazen. It's now for the second time in 2 weeks, agents have come under fire in the El Paso area. Agents were fired upon from the Mexican side, just south of the Isleta border station. CBP called it a use of force incident. Unfortunately, no injuries were reported, but the FBI is getting involved. Saying this in a statement, the FBI, El Paso's Violent Crime Task Force, is working closely with the U.S. Customs and Border Protection's Office of Professional Responsibility on this assault on a federal officer investigation. For more on this, I'm joined now by National Border Patrol Council Vice President Art Del Cueto and El Cajon, California Mayor Bill Wells. Gentlemen, thank you for being here. Art, I want to go right to you. I've spent a lot of time in the field with you guys. This occasionally happens, but shots fired from the Mexican side has got to set up some serious alarm bells for the safety of agents.
Look, it definitely does. Look, we know it's we've known from day one. Unfortunately, this what's happening now is a direct cause because the criminals know that they can do whatever they want and they haven't faced any consequences. Look, we just saw what happened in El Paso when that large group that came across. How many actually did get prosecuted? That's the sign that goes wide and they say, look, you guys can do whatever you want because you're not going to get prosecuted. You're not going to face consequences. We've seen it many times for many years where agents have been attacked and the individuals that attack them don't face consequences. Many times the agents get injured and they're receiving medical help and the individual that has attacked them has already been released. So this is something that's gone on for quite some time and no one's taking, the action to prosecute these individuals. We got this going on now. It's serious, not fired, because these individuals have seen that they don't face consequences for their actions.
And Mayor Wells, in your area in El Cajon, California, are you seeing the emboldenedness of the migrants coming through your area?
Well, it's really an emboldenedness of the cartels. The cartels really run the entire show at the border. And as things tighten up in Texas and Arizona, we've seen a huge number of people shifting which is at the direction of the cartels, to the San Diego area. So we've had 214,000 people dropped off on the border since October. And last month we had 37,000 people in just 1 month alone. We're seeing about 1,000, 1,200 people a day coming across the border and being dropped off the streets of San Diego County.
And Bill, we're seeing a lot in your area of specifically Chinese migrants. We can show you just some of the numbers in recent months here. The border-wide, the numbers you've got there, over 2,000 in March, over 3,300 in April, over 1,200 the first 8 days of May, actually. I was given that number from our CBP sources, but more than 95% of them, if you look just in the San Diego sector, it's almost identical numbers. They're all coming there. What are you seeing and why is this happening?
So we've seen about 5,000% increase in Chinese nationals coming across, mostly just single men and some single women, but not the kind of families that you would expect to see, or people coming over looking for a better life and a chance to raise their family in a better environment. They're here for some reason. We don't really know why they're here, but I recently had a chance to see a whole collection of ID cards that somebody found in their front yard, very close to the border. And most of those that I saw were Chinese nationals.
Yeah, that individual, Corey Goddard, he's great. I've been out with him. He's a gun store owner, and he's on the border often. I've been with him in a couple when we pick those things up. It's quite a thing. So let me just paint a picture here. The week that we have followed so closely, trials, we find protests, but the border has had a lot of news. Not only were agents fired upon, not only are an unprecedented number of migrants coming across, but now you have, in addition to all of this, a field hearing Republicans held in Arizona, Art, where you had a grieving mother who lost 2 sons just weeks apart last year, talking about the fentanyl crisis. Listen here.
They made their choices, and our family has to live with them. But this virtual flood of calls both into and through Arizona, which has dramatically worsened with the current administration, allowed my boys to make choices they may not have without the current open border crisis.
Art, what do you say to her?
Look, it's horrific and it continues to happen. As I stated earlier, you're seeing what's happening down in California because of an aspect added up. But unfortunately, I will say this. Look, Arizona has continued to be either number 1 or number 2 when it comes to encounters. It continues to be at the top of the list when it comes to getaways. The cartels know what they're doing. They know where they're going to cross individuals from what countries. They know what creates more of a media, heightened awareness in one area than the other. That's why Arizona, obviously, the area that's on off the nation, and I know people get upset and they're tired of me hearing it, but that is over 60 linear miles where it's got very limited access, very limited resources, and that is where the drug cartels continue to bring, dangerous drugs into the country. And look, these field hearings are great. I think they're fantastic because the American public needs to see what's going on. But at the same time, we need to make sure that we stay focused and we get, individuals out there that can actually tell you what's going on consistently, because it has been quite a mess throughout the entire border, and unfortunately, Arizona continues to be at the top. That is where the majority of the heroin, methamphetamine, and fentanyl continues to come into the country.
And you mentioned one of the leading sectors for gotaways. Just a few days ago, I broke the news. I got insight from CBP sources. There have been more than 175,000 known gotaways since the fiscal year began. And I don't have to tell you, Art, because every agent I talk to talks about they are most concerned about that. Border Patrol Chief Jason Owens told CBS that's what keeps him up at night, the gotaways. Mayor Wells, how concerned are you that someone who wasn't apprehended, that came in the dark of night, that has ill intentions for your community, could pose a public safety risk?
Well, it's common sense, isn't it? If you were trying to come across the border, you're hiding a criminal past or terroristic ties, you would want to come over in a place where you weren't going to be caught. You're going to want to slip over, maybe pay a little bit of extra money. I'm also concerned about the 100,000 children that have disappeared that we know are being sex trafficked.
All right, we got to leave it there. Mayor Wells, Art Del Cueto, thank you for your time. Have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Jackie?
Well, Rick, you might have caught a glimpse of the northern lights yesterday. That's because of the severe geomagnetic storm that made the lights visible as far south as Alabama. But this beautiful solar event has sparked some concerns. Madison Scarpino is live with more details on this for us. Hey, Madison.
Hello, Jackie. A really cool thing to see, but it's already causing some problems at big power grids across the country, according to NOAA. And space weather experts say that we haven't seen this strong of a solar storm in decades.
Nothing is uncontrollable, but we already have reports that they are seeing things show up. They're dealing with the problems. They're busy tonight. All of those operators making sure the electricity continues to flow.
So far, nobody has lost power, and the agency doesn't expect it to impact people's neighborhoods. NOAA Space Weather Prediction Center classified yesterday's solar storm as a G5, the highest level. Now here's some more video of the remarkable northern lights that people were seeing. And seeing this is a bucket list thing for a lot of people. And millions of Americans got to check that off last night when those pink, green, and purple skies lit up right in their backyards. Here's a physicist explaining how it works.
Basically what happens is part of the sun actually lifts off the surface, right? So this plasma, the charged particles, the magnetic field that makes up the sun, part of it actually lifts off the sun and streams away into space.
And NASA says that the storms didn't cause any serious issues with the 7 astronauts aboard the International Space Station. And as of this morning, conditions are back to a level 4 storm, but the sun's surface is still pretty active according to Fox Weather. So if you missed on seeing those northern lights last night, you still might have a chance to catch a glimpse tonight or the coming days. Jackie?
Right, Madison Scarpino for us. Thanks, Madison. Okay.
Jackie, Judge Juan Merchan gives Michael Cohen a warning before his testimony on Monday. That's next. But first, look at this. A live look over the National Mall in Washington, D.C., where right now we're watching dozens of vintage airplanes performing the flyover to celebrate the 85th anniversary of the Aircraft Owners and Pilots Association. We'll check back in and try to identify some of these flying relics of history, if we indeed can see it. We'll be back.
Okay, everyone. Our mission is to provide complete balanced nutrition for strength and energy.
Ensure with 27 vitamins and minerals, nutrients for immune health, and ensure complete with 30 grams of protein.
If your moderate to severe Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms are stopping you in your tracks, choose Stelara from the start and move toward relief after the first dose, with injections every 2 months.
Stelara may increase your risk of infections, some serious, and cancer. Before treatment, get tested for TB. Tell your doctor if you've had an infection, flu-like symptoms, sores, new skin growths, have had cancer, or if you need a vaccine. PREX, a rare infection. Some serious allergic reactions and lung inflammation can occur.
Feel unstoppable. Ask your doctor how lasting remission can start with Stelara. Johnson & Johnson can help you explore cost support options. When everything hurts, you need relief that's deeper than ice. Tidal, the cryotherapy spray that goes beyond cooling to take control of the pain. Now the best-selling pain relief spray has gotten even better with an easy press activator to get the perfect coverage and dose with no rubbing needed.
It smells really good. It relieves the pain quickly so I can continue doing what I love.
It's compact, it travels easy, I can take it everywhere.
Get the all-new cryotherapy spray and the full line of Tidal products online or at your favorite retailer.
At St. Jude, we don't care who cures cancer. We just need to advance the cure. It's a bold initiative to try and cure rates all around the world, but we should. It is our commitment. We need to do this.
Affirmative. Covering now.
20 seconds a week to lose 20% of your weight in a year with diet and exercise. That's the power of GLP-1s through Row. Connect with a provider today at row.co/plan.
Biden's warning to Israel.
What do the next moves in Raqqa mean for U.S. support in the war? Benjamin Hall has critical insight on the next Fox News Sunday.
Dear Norwegian flag supplied, we grew sick and tired of flying flags that were NATO besieged. How's it going?
Yes. Fucking priest.
Medic 1-5, be advised, we picked up hostile reinforcements inbound on your position.
Oh. Wait, what was the question?
Let me guess. One driving back longboat next to me.
Hit the armor.
Can I get off? Right?
Sensors at maximum range.
Think again. Smoking will affect reaction time and concentration. A message from Matt Canada.
I am reloading. Ready to go.
Reading off the story program with our reaching forward to them. That's their folks that make a very big difference with the day-to-day mental health. Thank you for your support of these things. It allows our therapy doctors.
That seems reasonable.
Trial in New York set to have its biggest day yet on Monday with testimony from the prosecution's most crucial witness, Michael Cohen. Madeline Rivera is live with the latest. Hey, Maddie.
Hey, Greg, prosecutors have a lot riding on Michael Cohen. He will detail the alleged scheme by former President Trump to pay off Stormy Daniels and reverse Cohen will pay her. So her story of an affair with Trump would not damage his 2016 campaign. But Cohen also comes with banging, and Judge Juan Merchan is reprimanding him ahead of his testimony. Merchan is asking prosecutors to tell Cohen to stop publicly talking about the case and Trump. Cohen has been commenting about the case on TikTok.
I will have a lot on my plate sometime beginning next week. Smash those hearts, smash the blue hearts, and so on, but crap. Do that just so that we can show MAGA.
Merchan, though, did not place a gag order on Cohen, causing the former president to lash out against the judge. Former White House aide Madeline Westerhout wrapped up her testimony on Friday. She testified that Trump was a multitasker who would sign documents without reviewing them sometimes, and that could undermine the prosecution's argument that Trump would have been aware of the $130,000 payment to Cohen.
Supposedly.
Compliance analyst for AT&T, a senior analyst in executive relations at Verizon, and two paralegals from the Manhattan District Attorney's Office. Calls between Cohen and others were introduced into evidence. It was much drier than Daniels' dramatic testimony earlier in the week, but ultimately prosecutors are trying to establish a paper trail, including phone logs, to show how money changed hands. Great.
It's going to be an interesting testimony on Monday. Madeline Rivera with the latest. Thank you, Maddie.
Yeah.
Jay?
All right, for more on this, we're joined by former federal prosecutor Katie Cherkosky. Katie, thank you so much for being here with us. Appreciate your time. So, about Michael Cohen, everyone's looking ahead to Monday. He is going to be crucial to the case because he is expected to testify
Excellent.
that reimbursements were falsified at the then president's direction. But this is a man who has admitted to lying to Congress in the past. How valuable can his testimony be at this point?
Well, I really don't know how Michael Cohen, even if we were to believe anything that he says, could establish why these were false entries. And that is the basic offense, the minimal offense that the prosecution needs to establish, is that these were false entries into business records. They were designated as legal expenses. The only witness who would really matter is some sort of accounting expert to say that this is an improper designation of that expense at a minimum level, and that's not even talking about the escalated felony offense that they need to prove. So certainly Michael Cohen's testimony will not be able to be believed. He will undoubtedly try to tie Donald Trump directly to the so-called scheme to make this plan to pay Stormy Daniels and then to be reimbursed, but it doesn't speak to the criminality, and that's what the prosecution is still missing. And even after Cohen's testimony, I anticipate that will still be lacking.
How much do you think it matters that Cohen has been, publicly taunting Trump, out on TikTok wearing a T-shirt that shows Trump behind bars? And will the jurors really be able to get a sense of that, given that they're not supposed to be paying attention to any news surrounding this case? So, do you think that will come through in the courtroom?
It's a mockery of the judicial system, needless to say. These jurors are ordered to not pay attention to the news media, but they're not sequestered. They do go home every night. And certainly, I'm sure many of them are familiar with Michael Cohen and may even be aware of what he has been saying throughout this process. It does make it even more incredible to have a witness taunting somebody on trial that obviously is presumed innocent to suggest that they can single-handedly convince others of their guilt. But again, Michael Cohen's testimony, regardless of what he says, does not answer the mail about the criminality of this offense. The jurors might be losing patience with the prosecution to be put through all of this very irrelevant testimony up to this point without answering the mail on that very issue.
And to your point, the one witness who probably had the most relevant testimony was Madeline Westerhout, the junior bookkeeper. And yesterday, I think it was, she had a chance basically to further the defense's argument that Trump made these payments not to win the election, but to protect his family, his reputation, and his brand. And in her testimony, one part that stuck out to me, she acknowledged that the whole situation was very unpleasant, but that her former boss never brought up his family during any of this. How much does that weigh on the outcome here?
Well, theoretically, the idea of what was motivating the payments could be part of the prosecution's case in the sense that they're trying to show that this was some sort of effort to impact the election directly versus something he was doing to protect his own reputation, his own family, his own brand, which obviously is a legal purpose. But we still don't really know what the escalated offense is that they're trying to prove, nor has the prosecution even tied Donald Trump directly to the decisions that were made in processing these payments, in documenting how they were going to be reimbursing Michael Cohen and the like. So it's been a slow burn to even tie Donald Trump to making the payments, which again are lawful payments, but we haven't seen anything whatsoever suggesting that there was a criminal scheme of some sort, and certainly nothing that Donald Trump was personally tied to. Again, Michael Cohen will tie him to some of these discussions, I'm sure, but whether he can be believed, that's going to be a tall order, if not impossible, for the jurors to get there with him.
I want to also ask you about something Jonathan Turley said, pointing to what the judge suggested. The judge on Friday suggested that former Trump CFO Alan Weisselberg should perhaps testify after prosecutors tried to bring his severance package into evidence. Jonathan Turley had an interesting take on that whole motion from the judge. Listen to this.
Yeah, it's very unusual. It reminds me of a judge when I started out as a lawyer. He was notorious because he would say, is the defense ready to present its case, and turn to the prosecutors and say, are we ready to present our case? This is a little bit crossing the line.
So I should clarify, not a motion in the legal sense, but a suggestion from the judge that rubbed Jonathan Turley the wrong way. Weisselberg is sentenced to 5 months in jail for perjury and the civil fraud trial. And you have this judge suggesting that the prosecution bring a new witness while telling another witness that they, or rather, while admitting a lot of irrelevant testimony from one witness, telling the defendant, Trump, that he can't talk at all. So what is your take on the judge here in this case and that suggestion from him?
Maybe the judge does feel that the prosecution has not presented a case, and the big question will be, at the close of the prosecution's case, the defense will, I'm sure, move for a directed verdict, meaning that they will ask the judge to find Donald Trump not guilty as a matter of the evidence presented before the case even makes it to a jury. And if the judge has any credibility left, he could very well grant that motion, because the prosecution needs to present evidence on each of the charged elements, and that is something that the defense is going to walk through very specifically with them, and as should the prosecution. But if there is literally no testimony that gets to the heart of those elements, then a directed verdict of not guilty should be granted. So perhaps the judge, again trying to maybe assist the prosecution, is really stepping out of balance here, but we've been saying that all along, and that's very, very much true. This is not something you see in courtrooms across America. This is a terrible reflection of the justice system, and it's just not accurate for anybody else.
Well, I'll be watching it as it continues to unfold. Katie Trukowski, thank you so much for that.
Thank you. Okay.
Great conversation. Meanwhile, new reaction to articles of impeachment being prepared against President Biden over his threat to halt some weapons to Israel. That's next. But first, Let's check back on the skies over the National Mall in Washington, D.C., where a first-of-its-kind flyover is being performed. Dozens of aircraft, you can see them there, flying in the sky, two of them, representing multiple storied chapters of aviation history, soaring 1,000 feet above the National Mall as we watch them pass. I don't know what they are, but they're in the hills of U.S. aviation history.
Here's to better days.
Here's the PG scoop every Thursday.
Help fuel today with Boost-type protein. Complete nutrition you need without the stuff you don't. So, here's to now. Boost!
Zyrtec Allergy Relief works fast and lasts a full 24 hours, so Dave can be the
deliverer of myths.
Okay, Dave. Let's be working our allergies. Seize the day with Zyrtec.
As the candidates race toward the White House, America hopes for a clean and fair election. But New York kids understand what that means. It's why my team created the Kids Guide to the Presidential Election. As your kids read it, they'll discover how elections are won and how to ensure that every legal vote is counting and what happens when they're not. All future voters need this guide, and you can have it for free.
To order, visit freeelectionguide.com. That's freeelectionguide.com.
The only thing on the road faster than a race car are rising car repair costs. They're up almost 20% in the past year alone. That's a lot of cash, unless you have endurance. With endurance, you'll never pay for covered car repairs again.
I've had 4 claims for over $8,700.
Endurance has saved me over $5,000.
Without endurance, a broken AC unit can cost over $800. Transmission over $3,000, an engine over $4,000.
Cars break down, but with endurance, I don't have to worry about it.
With endurance, all major parts are covered, plus hundreds more. Even better, you pick the mechanic you trust. Endurance pays them direct, and you never see a bill for covered repairs.
Unlike other companies I've dealt with as a mechanic, Endurance is the direct administrator of their plans. That means no middleman and no rental.
I went in for an oil change, and I walked out with a $3,800 repair bill. Endurance covered it. Endurance has been putting money back in drivers' pockets for nearly 2 decades. Word's out.
Just look at what thousands of real drivers are saying about Endurance on top review sites. Whether you put 10,000 or 100,000 miles a year on your car, if it's under 20 years old, Endurance has you covered.
And if you break down, they'll jump your battery, tow, deliver gas, change the flat, unlock your car, and more.
Call now and we'll upgrade you to a full year of elite benefits free, a $2,000 value.
Don't let your car repair costs get any higher. Lock in your savings today.
Endurance saves drivers thousands, and now you can save even more. Right now, you can get $300 off any plan, plus a year of elite benefits, a $2,000 value, free. All backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee.
Your next breakdown doesn't have to break the bank. Call Endurance and find out how much you can save right now.
Call 1-833-880-4711 for a free quote.
Hi, I'm William DeVay. Did you know there's only been 2 times in American history, 2, when the national debt was larger than gross domestic product? World War II and right now. That's a deep hole, and I don't know how we'll climb out. That's why I buy gold from Roslyn Capital. Roslyn Capital is a trusted leader in helping people acquire precious metal. Gold bullion, Lady Liberty gold and silver proofs, and premium coins to help you preserve your wealth. Call Roslyn Capital to receive your free Roslyn Guide to Gold, Gold and Precious Metals IRA, and silver brochure. With Roslyn, there are no gimmicks, no hassles, and they have fast, reliable shipping. Ask yourself, are you safe? Make gold produce this.
Call Roslyn Capital today. 630-8900.
The Republican lawmaker leading the impeachment effort says President Biden's old rhetoric in Israel is all about politics.
Corey Mills, a congressman from Florida, said that, quote, he wants to win Michigan, he wants to pander to the radical left. Now, of course, President Reagan, Biden is not the only president to withhold aid to Israel. Ronald Reagan held up sending F-16s and cluster bombs in the 80s. But some think is now not the time to delay weapons shipments to Israel after Hamas slaughtered 100 Israelis on October 7th and took hundreds hostage.
Save this.
Remain in captivity, including some
I'm gonna continue next time. Alright, guys, take it easy.
While talking about settlement policy in 2019 is something Biden said he would never do.
To the Israelis, but the idea that we would cut off military aid